My guest today is Joey Aich. Joey is a Columbus-based rapper and hip-hop artist. He's played at venues all across Columbus, from Land Grant to Kemba Live. In this episode, we talk about the Columbus hip-hop scene, other artists he enjoys, his upbringing, and what inspires his music. We also talk about a lot of other things, like the importance of the arts in the community and development in the city. All that and more on this chronicle of the Columbus Chronicle. Off by saying thank you again for coming on. The first time we did this is like a little viewer note. Joey did a full podcast already. You did a full, like, 45-minute podcast already. And then I formatted the card, deleted the entire thing. You're a good sport about it, though.
Man, gotta be.
On the bright side, when you came at 10 a.m. last time, we debated on a drink, and we ultimately, we afterwards, we were like, you know what, we should, wish we would have. But now that it's like in the afternoon, we can enjoy a proper drink. Cheers to you, man.
Cheers to you.
Joey, I know it because I've already asked you this, but tell me about your story. How did you end up here in Columbus?
Oh, so like I said before, but like I went to Denison University in 2012, and then once I graduated in 2016, like I was doing music when I was in school. So like I was performing a whole lot. I was, like most people went to school to like use their degree, so they were like had internships and everything. And like my internship was basically like going to Columbus to perform and stuff. So then once I graduated, it was just like very easy. It was like everything that I do is down here. So my performances are down here. I record down here, everything. So it was just very easy when I moved back to Cleveland, just be like, all right, I should definitely be in Columbus. So
Yeah.
and I've been here ever since. It was like 2017.
I want to go back. We touched on it a little bit last time. I'd love to talk more about it, your upbringing, because how do you end up going, this is what I want to do and create a successful like rapping career and hip hop career out of that? Like, take me back to your childhood growing up. Was there any influences there ever?
Yeah, I mean, like I've always just been into entertainment and entertaining people. Um so like almost kind of like a life of the party if you get to know me well enough. But like I was always in choir, whether it be at church, whether it be in school, theater. Like I was just always into that. And then when in like seventh grade, we had like a poetry class, and I started to like write poetry. And then our science teacher had a project where it was like, instead of having to do like write a paper or whatever, a poster, it's like you can do whatever. And so I decided to make a rap song. Um, and that was kind of like my introduction to everything. And then from there, like I just started to really get into it more. But I didn't really use it as like a means of like letting it out. It was more so for me, it was like more therapy of just like writing in a journal, recording myself. And then when like my parents and stuff would come home, I'm like, all right, session's over. Like I didn't really want anybody to know too much. And then towards the end of high school, that's when I started to like actually um write, record songs, and then tease them out to other people and be like, hey, like I'm thinking of like, doing this. And so then when I got to college and performing for the first time, like my own original music, it was like a spark. And that was like for me, um the joy and the feeling of performing my own original music for the first time was just like, yeah, this is what I want to do. And I'm gonna continue to keep riding that wave and see what it brings and the joy of it. So
Yeah. You mentioned journaling. Did you find that developing your writing skills, because your songs are really they're well done. I mean, you know that, but like they're really well done, and like the lyrics are like, you listen and you're like, oh, that's really unique. Do you find your writing helped influence this part of your career where you're writing these songs now?
yeah, and I think like my love for not necessarily just like songwriting, but like storytelling has been something that I've always gravitated towards. Um I remember, like, again, going back to those poetry classes, they were like, "Yeah, print out lyrics to a song and then pick out the metaphors and similes." And from there, I was just like, "Okay, well, I know about what's going on in not necessarily real life because I don't know these people personally,
Yeah.
but I'm like, oh man, this happened in the news and they're writing about it. And so this connects to this. And like the storytelling aspect of it was like really cool um, for me. And then I just was like, oh, that's kind of what I like to talk about is like my life and the songwriting and the storytelling aspect of it is everything that I just wanted to do afterwards. So
Yeah. Did you have any influences, like, within your family or anything like that that I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. Was there ever any, like, a, "Yes, go for this. Go after what you wanna do." Like, what was that like growing up?
yeah, so yes and no. So like my parents are very supportive of like anything. My family is supportive of anything I wanted to do. Um, but like I was just so kind of where I'm from suburban Cleveland, Ohio, Woodmere Village to be exact. I went to Orange High School and nobody from the suburbs like is a professional musician rapper. At least at the time, like I didn't know that. Um, and so it didn't really seem like a career path. So like if it early on it was like, oh man, I want to be a lawyer because it looks cool. It's like, what are you, young Joseph, like what are you trying to do? And it's like, ah man, I want to be a lawyer. I want to play professional baseball. But like me being like, oh, I want to be a rapper. It never like felt like something that was obtainable or that people would look at and say, oh, that's a career path that you can go after. And so that's kind of why I just kind of shelved it and I suppressed it from not only myself, but just from everybody else. But yeah, my family is like super supportive of everything. I was in baseball camps. I was in basketball camps. I'm 5'5". I'm not going to college to play basketball. I didn't play in high school, but I was like in camps. I was in like theater stuff, like everything that I can do in high school, in elementary school, whatever, like I was in. And my parents were like fully behind it, family just fully behind it. But I just didn't think that music was a thing that people would look at and say that that is a real career. So I suppressed it until much.
Um, I wanna talk about Denison. What did you go to school for?
Um, I went to school for communication.
Okay.
And then after my sophomore year, I went to school to meet people and network and basically find a way to pitch, learn about more people, learn about different people, um, and and get my music in front of different people so I didn't have to go home.
Yeah. So, you said when you moved back to Cleveland after Denison. Correct me at all if I'm, like,
Yeah.
went back to Cleveland. When you were there, you said, "No, I gotta get back." So you came back here in 2017. What establishing roots in a place is not always easy. I mean, it's not, despite what people say, just go out and what were those first years like when you moved back here to develop into the community and to get your music out here?
In Columbus, it was I don't wanna say it was easy, it was just, like, my roots have been, like, established since 2014
Yes, cool.
at this point, like, I was only really home in the summertime and wintertime, like, that was it, like, so when I was in Cleveland in the summertime, it was like do a couple shows in the summer, um, and then maybe do a little bit in the wintertime. But like I was always in Columbus, especially towards like 2014, where I started to do a little bit more showcases. Me and my friend Sarab, we started to just go to record. So like I didn't even have a real recording studio in Cleveland. I just like would wait until I came back down here to record. Um, and so, like, when I was here, it was easy, and, I kinda have, like, a story, but it's like I kind of not necessarily felt like my time in Cleveland was done in 2017, but I was just like, there's a lot of opportunities that I feel like I was, like, supposed to have, and I'm older now, so I understand like everything doesn't go the way that you want it to go and whatnot. And I was a little bit uh brash in delivery and also just like what I wanted, but I was just always looking for more. But like I felt my time was up. Like I wanted to play House of Blues when at that time, like I was the only person out of the group of people that performed at the grog shop at the time. Or like there was like a period of time when every like it was a bunch of showcases in Cleveland at the grog shop, all the different artists. I'm one of the only people that didn't play at the House of Blues. And so that was one of my, like, benchmarks. I'm like, to show that I'm doing, like, going up is to play there, and I didn't get to. And so I was like, "Alright, you know what? I think my time is done." And I moved back down here, and, like, the first week that I was here, I get a call like, "Hey, do you wanna, perform on the main stage of a festival in town?" I'm like, yeah." And, like, Travis Scott is the headliner of that one. So, it was just different things like that. Like, I feel like I established myself a little bit more here. So when I moved, it was just kinda like, "Alright, like, let's really get into it and let's really embrace the city and do everything I can to, like, amplify and elevate whatever is going on."
Yeah. Do you find that, because I've heard this from a couple people I've interviewed. I'm glad we're doing this a second time actually, because I like, it's a whole new questions that are from. Do you find that, and the reason I bring this up is 'cause I've had multiple people tell me this, is like, what you put into this city, Columbus specifically, it reciprocates it right back to you, and a lot of cities don't do that. You can put in a lot to some city, you can put a lot into New York, and New York City is not gonna give it back
Right.
to you necessarily. Um, do you feel that way about Columbus, that it gives back what you put into it?
Absolutely, and I've talked to a lot of people who have moved here, and looking to establish, like, themselves in any type of scene, or, like, it doesn't have to just be music like or anything. It's just like, "Oh, I'm new to Columbus." And I'm like, "Well, first off, the city is, even though it's kinda like a bigger US city,
Yeah,
it's still a small city where, like,
totally.
we all talk to each other. Like, we frequent the same places. Like, there's different hubs and stuff, but there's somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, and it's, like, small in that way. So, I feel like the energy that you give is kinda what, like, comes out, because then there's somebody who might know me in the from the punk scene, and they're just like, "Yeah, man, like, this dude, Joey Aich, like, we did a cross-genre show, and he's just a cool dude," and stuff like that, and I have the same feelings towards other people, where it's not necessarily the scene or the pocket that you're in, but it's just, like, overall, there's a lot of, um, opportunities to just, like, give, and this city is one that definitely gives back, just from, I don't know, just, like, the energy.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you on that. It's funny, like you mentioned, like someone who knows someone who knows someone. Like I would say, like I almost everyone that I've tried to find a way to get on this podcast or talk to, it's you can reach out to them directly, or one person knows. Like it's literally like one separation away from that person. So you move here and you start getting your, I shouldn't say you start, you had a music career before that. But what is your music career like since moving to Columbus? What has that been like? Because it seems like it's grown quite a bit in the last several years.
It's been like a steady incline. And like I'm always somebody that champions progression and like forward progress. And so for me, it's just been like, not only have I gotten a lot of different opportunities and the ability to grow, but like I've also just been able to get better. Um, and forge different relationships and like be able to help out in different ways, and use my gift of music, and it's like helped me be a better person. So it's not just about like the music aspect of things. It's helped me work with different corporations, different nonprofits, and it's like fed my soul and just what I've done as a person outside of just the music aspect of things. But like it's just made me uh given me a lot of purpose for why I create, and like my goals of what I want to accomplish while I'm on earth.
Yeah, I love that. talk about your upcoming music, because I know you got an album coming out.
Yeah.
You give a plug real quick.
Yeah, so I have an album called Moments Like These coming out soon, and, uh, this is, like, the most proud I am of any music that I've ever released, as far as just, like, the music, as far as the execution of a rollout strategy, the visuals, and everything, and, like, I've been talking to people really close to me. I'm just like, this is a period of time where I'm like, I'm putting all the chips in the middle and saying like, we're going for it right now. Like, I equate everything to sports. I was just talking to my mom the other day, and I was just like, I am all in to win a championship with this music, with this team that's around, with the band, and really do something special that can like not just impact us, but impact this whole city and state or whatever. Um, and I'm just super proud of it and like the people that are involved in it, um, and what we're able to do.
Out of all the venues that you've been able to play out here in the city or maybe even
Mhm.
Ohio in general, do you have any favorites?
Yes. Natalie's is definitely one of my favorites. I would have to say the Promo West venues as far as like A&R Music Bar, Kimba, Newport. I'm always treated really well there. Ace of Cups, Ramblin' House. Um, yeah, those are some of my favorites.
Where do you find the inspiration for your music? Because I listened to it and it sounds like you definitely draw external inspiration, as well as your own internal. Where do you find inspiration in that, whether it's in yourself or in others?
It's definitely like based on my story, based on my life. So I'm very inspired by like what's going on around. But then also just like I'm blessed with great family, friends, people that are around that I'm like oftentimes people have to look and seek external, like, man, I see that person that's up there and I'm like inspired by them. And I'm like, well, my brother does X, Y, and Z. And so like I'm very like we talked about it before, but like the whole thing about going to a kitchen table with my brothers and my parents and stuff and being like, hey man, I didn't do anything today. Like I feel like I'm the only person that did do anything.
No, talk about that a little bit. I know we talked about it before, but for the person listening, you had mentioned that like you a lot of your family does a lot of cool things.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
So like my little brother, for example, he is like for me, I'm like, he's the GOAT. He's like the young king. Like he's the one that's, doing all the special things. But like he's in New York. He was on Broadway, was understudy for Simba. He's teaching kids out there at theater. And I think this week going back to school to get his master's or something like that. I don't know, but like he's doing like incredible things. And so it's like when we go to our group chat and it's just like, yeah, so I did this today. I did this today. So it's like I have an article that came out today. And then tomorrow, my older brother, Ben, he's going to be speaking at the Museum of Contemporary Arts in Cleveland for his brand, Midwest Kids. And so it's just kind of like those it's like everybody's kind of doing something, so I'm always inspired by that. And then my mom is a superhero, like the most kind, loving person to walk this earth. And then my dad is the mayor. He's a chameleon. I call him the example, just as somebody who like if you look at how he's been able to operate in his life. Like he was a news reporter and then he left TV to go do other things and now he's the mayor. And it's just like every he just evolves as like life goes on. And it's really cool to see. And that is my like immediate circle of inspiration right there. And like I can't go to the table and be like, didn't do anything today. Um, don't have any goals. Don't have any aspirations. Don't want to be better because like those are the people that are around, and I'm impacted by the people that are around, and inspired by that. So like for me, it's just want to be able to make those people proud, and then also just the people that are around me. Like my group chats are full of people who do a bunch of amazing things in this city, and just across the world really, and just trying to live up and make people proud and also sit in that same like pantheon of like what we're doing. So
Yeah. Talk about your band a little bit because you mentioned the inspiration and the people around you support you. Talk about the band, the Headbangers,
yeah,
correct? Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So the headband is basically
Headband, sorry, not Headbangers.
the headband is basically like it's a play off of me performing with a headband all the time. And so when it came to like naming a band, I was like, "Oh, all right, Joey Aich and the headband." So that would be cool. And so we have Lenasia, that's Big Dog. That is the music director, makes all the arrangements, and also plays keyboard. Uh, a beast, like truly, like somebody who holds me accountable, has challenged me on being a better communicator, being a better performer, and just taking things a little bit more, way more serious in the ways that the live show um, goes. And so Lenasia is like again big dog. And then we got Kevon who plays bass and drummer Day on the drums, if you didn't know. And then we got my guy DJ Mike Dow. And me and Mike have been doing shows for such a long time at this point, traveling, um, going to different cities and performing, and then being like, "Hey man, we didn't make anything tonight, but we got enough to get gas to get back to Columbus." And so they are special, and also just like they see vision. Um, they see vision, they see like what we're able to do. A lot of times people, I don't want to say like see things as self-serving because we always have to look out for our best interests. But like when we're trying to do something that is like for a larger, make a larger impact and stuff, like they really see vision and are down for what I'm trying to do as well. And this year, like specifically, like it's the ability to like go to different places and perform and have them there with me is special. And like I remember, I want to say it was a year and a half, 2 years ago, the first time we went out of town in West Virginia, and they paid for our uh hotel, they paid for a bunch of stuff, and it was just like to give that experience to other people, and like experience it all together is cool. And so like it's kind of like one of those things when you I guess like watch movies and you see people together and stuff like and like the what part, it's like the montage part of the movie or whatever, when people are like all smiling and doing everything. It's like that's kind of how it feels working with them. And like we have a rehearsal today, getting prepared for tomorrow and 934 and a bunch of different other shows that we have coming up. And it's just like it's special to be with this team. So
I love that. What would you say, because you mentioned the montage where all is awesome and everything's going great. What would you say, like, the biggest challenges you have had here in the city are, or just in general with your music?
I think like a lot of it is just I don't think that there's that much prioritization on like art, and that's just across the board.
Yeah.
I think like obviously when budget cuts happen, the first thing that always goes is art, after school programs and all that stuff. And so that comes down with, you know, art in the city. Like it's when it comes to being paid for things and like financing things, like uh we don't make a lot of money off of music. So with streaming, like you have to damn near get like a million streams to even see something that can come back to like make an impact. And so that's been like a big hurdle. But again, like having people who see vision, we can do the different things that we can to like combat that. Um, but then like the other challenges is just like self-doubt is a thing. It sucks, but like, you know, going through a music career and being like, am I good enough, or am I past the moment? Like, did it pass? Did I um, did I do enough in this time to leave an impact on people? What if I run out of words? Like different things like that are challenges often, but I'm trying to get better at just being kind to myself, giving myself grace, and trying to move forward and again be a champion of progression. So
Yeah. What would you say? 'Cause you mentioned just like the internal monologue you kinda had there when you're going through these things to, young artists in the city. What would your message to them be?
um first off, when you asked me this question the last time, this was like, man, this was like a crazy realization for me because I had some crazy things going that day. But like, I think um, we've always said that failure is like a bad thing, and I think if you treat failure like, and I'm failing, then sure. But like, I try to go through life with failure as like lessons, and learning from them. And so my thing for like young artists is fail fast, fail hard, get up, learn from it, and continue to keep going. Um, and because like I know for me when I was younger, like I was scared of failure. I was scared of my friends listening to my music and being like, "Man, that's whack." That would have crushed me when I was 18 or 16. But like I'm 31 years old and there's people who listen to my music go, not my cup of tea. That's kind of whack, you know? And I think like being able to um, learn that and just like it doesn't even have to be like is the music whack. It's like you're gonna apply to um, grants, you're gonna apply to festivals, you're gonna apply to a bunch of different things. You're gonna just apply your music to people, and you're not gonna always get a yes every single time. And like I've talked to people who are just in different, like not necessarily walks of life, but different fields. Like people who
Yeah.
went to college, they went to graduate school, they got an internship. From the internship, they got a job, and like there wasn't a lot of room for I don't want to say a lot of room for failure or rejection, but like I get rejected with music every single day since I was like 17. So like now I'm just kind of used to like dealing with it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody asked like, how do you deal with rejection like so well? Because like I haven't gotten the job that I wanted or I've applied to, and I'm like, I wake up and it should be like that easy button from Staples or whatever, but it should be like a no button. It's just like nope. And that's kind of like how I've learned to have like thick skin and stuff. And I think for like artists um is learning how to deal with rejection and learning how to cope with those things in a healthy way. Um and like always strive to be better with I guess like I don't know, I feel like I'm going on a tangent on
No,
one, but
yeah,
it's like
I completely follow, though. I completely get what you're saying.
but yeah, and then also just like building a community and building like the foundation rooted in community and real authentic community, not just like, man, I'm gonna come to a show or whatever, so then it's reciprocated or it feels that way, you know?
Yeah.
Like it has to be really trying to embrace community and see better in people and better in a scene, a city, everything.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. One of my things with this podcast is, along that boat is it's like when I have guests on and then they like, they talk about something they're doing or something coming up and I go, oh, cool. Well, you have a platform, you said it. It's like, no, how can I actively be part of the community? How can I give back? What can I do extra that isn't there before? So it's a great point. What would you say to someone who asks if Columbus has a hip hop scene?
Get in the field. Like like literally, I would say it's so much talent in the hip hop space that like it's it's kind of one of those things where I'm like, I don't know how you guys don't see it, you know? Or if somebody says, or if they're skeptical, it's kind of like one of those things I'm like, you are literally just not looking if that's the case. Um, there was a post that was going around a couple of weeks ago, and it was just like uh, about like hip hop artists and rapping over vocals, which is like a no no. It's like You don't rap over your vocals. You rap your songs. Take the backtrack vocals out. And they were like, that's the problem with Columbus, is like that doesn't happen. And I'm like, that's not true. That's inaccurate. You know, like there's every single person that I know that puts out hip hop music in this city that performs, that I know personally, don't do that. And it is like a long list of people. Like I can go on all day just like naming people. I'm gonna spare us the time. But but like it's truly one of those things where I think that the scene here is very, very strong. Talented wordsmiths, talented songwriters, talented performers. And it's not just like uh the versatility. So it's like, oh, I can perform by myself with a computer. I can perform with a DJ. I can perform with a band. I can go up and perform with a different genre, and like they could bring me up on stage, and I like going up on stage with Camp and performing. Like some people will be like, how does indie folk and rap like intertwine? And it's just like, I'm versatile. I can do so much, and there's a lot of people who can do so much in our hip hop scene. Now, I just it's special.
Who you said you're not gonna go down a list of names, so I'm not gonna make you name all of them. But, like, in terms of people that you work with or you personally get inspiration from, who are some of those artists that you really enjoy who are here in Columbus?
Here in Columbus, I gotta go to my people like Dom Deshawn. Some Dom is like one of the coolest people that I've ever met. Because like a lot of times when there was a period in time where like a lot of hip hop acts wouldn't be able to perform at different venues. Like we would email and it wouldn't be like much of a response. It was like, oh yeah, we're a rock uh club, you know, or and so like but they're the cool venues. So like a lot of times we had to go the DIY way and do it in like different garages. So like shout out to I mean it's not in existence anymore, but like 129. We used to do a bunch of showcases there. Um and like Dom was somebody very early on that was like, I'm gonna build a table so I don't have to go to the table. I'm gonna build this. So I'm gonna set up my own shows. I'm gonna set up my own showcases. I'm gonna go and travel to different places. Like Dom took me to New York, Chicago, and LA for my first performances out there. Like Dom was the one who booked those. And so he's always been somebody to me that I'm like, I'm gonna continue to learn from and take it and apply it to my life and eventually be able to go and do for the next. And so Dom, incredible. Trek Manifest, one of the best rappers that I know, just like he's an alien. Like we say that in our group chat, but like seriously, he is an alien when it comes to his ability to put words together, how quick it happens. Like he'll be like, all right, y'all, I'm about to go rap. And then in 7 minutes, he comes back and sends us two voice two voice notes of songs. Like obviously not 7 minutes, but you know what I mean. Like it's like really quick, and his performances are electric. He has a lot of energy, and so those are two people. Blueprint, who is on the album. I can't speak enough about Blueprint. I've talked to so many people over the last like couple months slash year about the type of person he is. And a lot of times there's like for a long time we heard about like crab in the barrel mentality and like nobody wants to uplift each other. And I think a lot of it oftentimes is like rooted in insecurity of like somebody is going to take my spot if I give them information. And Blueprint is somebody that I've talked to and I've just been like, "Hey man, I got a question about this." He goes, "Oh yeah, do this." I got another question about this. He's like, "Oh yeah, don't even worry, I got you." And like one instance of me like doing this album with like I did a previous album with my guy up in Cleveland, Dave's Up, and we were trying to get vinyl. That like I haven't had a vinyl record before, and so I'm like, I want to get a vinyl record.
Pretty cool.
And so I'm like, what do I do? And I saw him at Rehab Tavern for Vibe Society, and I'm talking to him, and I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to do it this way. I'm trying to do it this way. He's like, man, get your first vinyl, man. Don't worry about anything else. Just like, and I'll give you a website to go to, and you can go through them, and you can set it up. It's easy, and you'll be able to recoup your money, so then you can go and get more for the next time. But that was him teaching me without feeling like feeling the type of way where like I'm coming for a spot, because he's secure in his position. He knows who he is. He's Blueprint. And so after that, like, we get the vinyl, and I'm like, all right, man, I'm about to ask Blueprint another question. I already asked him to be on my album. And I'm like, hey, yeah, what do I do to get a vinyl record in a record store? Because, like, again, I'm new to this, and I'm thinking that it's just gonna be like a quick message here and there. And he sends like 6 paragraphs of just like a step by step of how to do it. And like, if at step 3 this happens, here's an alternate route. And that is something that I've like been very appreciative of, because I've always been a way where like I don't want to do um like the game is sold, not told. Like, I want to be able to teach people and educate people, so then like the next generation of people who come up for our scene in hip hop are in a better position, because people weren't afraid to give away information.
Yeah.
And so I feel like when I was coming up early on, like, I was uh I was like doing a lot of things by trial and error, and a lot of it was wrong. A lot of it was just like just not knowing, not having people to teach. And so now, like, in the opportunity that I have now, it's like, all right, it's time to teach people so they can be better. And like, that's kind of like one of those things that goes to Blueprint. Like, he didn't have to do that, but like he has, and that's kind of like, you know, taking him to teach me, then I can go on and teach. And so
Yeah, kinda that whole mentality of making sure that rising tide lifts all the boats around you.
yeah. And there's just so many different, and it's not just like rappers, it's DJs, it's producers. Like, we have a very, very strong scene that I just like, I can't wait for the day that's like somebody opens the door, pulls back the curtain and go, holy shit, like this is like something that's worth being discovered. Like, having people come in here to see what's going on.
Yeah. No, I love that. When I'm trying to remember, what the organization We Amplify Voices.
Mhm.
There we go. You've done a decent
Yeah.
amount of volunteer work with organizations like We Amplify Voices.
Mhm.
Kinda talk about that.
Uh, I can't really like speak enough about just like what an impact it's had on my life. Like, I've been somebody that is not shy in saying that I never wanted to go back to a classroom ever again. I think after, like, again, my sophomore year in college, I was like, I don't want to do class. I don't want to do school. I will learn. I must continue to be a student of life, but like, I don't want to be in a classroom anymore. And I remember doing the writing workshop with it was a school, Central Ohio Recovery school. And we did the workshop, and basically like I'm taking their stories and then putting it into song form. But the whole caveat is like it has to be their story. So then when they hear it, they're kind of like, oh man, like this is my song. And I remember one of the girls who is at that point had been like a couple days or weeks sober. Um, and like we were just like, how do you feel? And she's just like, I feel. And like in that room, it was like this small room, it was just like you could hear a pin drop. And it was just so impactful, because like not just me as like the facilitator of the writing workshop, but like the actual lead, um, we were just moved, because like it was us learning from them teaching us stuff too. Like, we're learning about ourselves in real time. And that was something that was like really impactful. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take that and put it in the music. Um, And since then, it's just literally given me so much purpose of like, it's it's bigger than just like making songs and making cool songs that people are like, oh yeah, that was a good song, it's streaming well, whatever. It's like I want to be able to do something with music to be able to impact people, especially like kids and children. And like right after that program, they were like, "Hey, do you want to do the We Amplify Voices, We the Change program at Wedgwood?" And I'm like, "Sure. What do I have to do?" They're like, "You got to go to the classroom and be there like Monday through Thursday." And I was just like, "Okay, this is gonna be tough." But like, I immediately got there, and it was like, "Oh man, I see like myself in all these different students and stuff." And I'm like, "All right." Instead of me taking this time to just like um be the facilitator. Like, I'm just gonna be big brother to them. So some days we come in and we talk about like the art projects and stuff. Some days I have to take a student over to the side and they're crying they didn't make the basketball team. And I have to teach them about, like again, rejection and finding like I remember telling one of the students, I'm like, in this moment right now is the time that you need to believe in yourself more than anything. Because like you're dealing with hurt, you're dealing with rejection, this is the time to believe in yourself more than anything. And but we had like points like that. We had times where there was a fight in the hallway that involved one of the students, and now everybody's moping. And it's like, all right, guys, like let's not take out our phones, let's not do this stuff. And I was just like a big brother to them. And like the last time I was in the first year that I had it, last time I had like the last class, I just remember telling them like, I want you guys to be great. And I want you guys to all pledge to me before we leave to be great, that I am going to be great. Um, or, strive to be great. And I just remember like all the different professors, teachers, um, parents, whoever who have like built into me and made me feel some type of way when I was young. And I was like, I just really hope that in 10, 15 years, one of those students looks up and they go, yeah, man, I remember Mr. Joe used to tell us to be great all the time. But like, I think that that stuff kind of it's impactful. And so it's been cool. It's been cool. It's given me a lot of purpose and as somebody who like my before the pandemic and before 2020 and stuff, I was just like, I want to do all this big glamorous stuff. And then afterwards, it's just like I wanna be somebody that, like, in the community that has been, that inspires people, that moves people to be better, and yeah, that is we Amplify Voices has done so much just for me as a person, so
No,
yeah.
it's awesome. I have a few more questions because I want to be mindful of your time to be sure you can make it to. I don't want to be the reason you're late for the rehearsal. Um, when you look at the future of Columbus,
Mm.
what excites you and what concerns you?
Um, I think, development and I don't wanna say developing too fast, but, like, developing and, um, getting rid of, like, hubs is something that, concerns me. Like, I remember a place, Two Truths, that used to be in the Short North area. That was a place of, like, community and gathering and fellowship, and after, I wanna say, like, 2021, it was like, it's gone, and now there's just a apartment. It's just like and we see, like, different things like that, so I mean, things like that, concern me, but I think, like, the like, the different pockets of people who are really trying to do things that are, like, rooted in community and, like, helping each other is something that really does excite me. And again, like, last night I was at a table and it's a bar manager, um, a hip hop musician, um, an indie folk musician, and a carpenter or somebody who I say like just makes improvements, makes things better. And we're all like sitting at a table just talking about different ways that we can um help, and not just help the bar, but like help everything else. And so I think that that is like something that excites me as far as just the uh, there's a lot of people who are doing like some special things with um even like working with children and stuff. Like a few weeks ago, there was the I think it was like last week, but like the Columbus Fashion Alliance, like their dedication to showing up for these kids so they can have a pop up in the city and do something cool that they can like go back and say like, man, we did that. Like we had our own pop up, and there's people that are around like musicians, there's fashion people, whatever, that are wearing their clothes and they're in high school. Like that's cool. That's cool to me, and that's something that I'm like really excited for in the future, and also just being a part of it and helping contribute.
Yeah. Favorite places to eat, drink, and hang out here in Columbus?
They have not changed since the last time we talked. Favorite places to eat. If I'm going for something cheap, I'm going to Club 185. I am going to Marlowe's cheesesteak. That Johnny Boy is crazy. It is special. If you haven't had it, go get it. I'll probably get it this weekend at some point. Um, Tommy's Diner, and for pizza, I'm gonna go Grandma's Pizza right across the street. And then for drinks, Land Grant. Land Grant.
Solid choice.
And then after, go to Sweeney's.
Adam Benner, friend of the
Yeah.
pod.
Oh
He's
yeah,
been on.
that's my guy.
Love that. Love that. I want to give you a final chance to plug anything you got going on. Where can people find you? It's all yours.
So I am on joeyaich.com on like my website and stuff, and from there I'm on all the different socials, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, at Joey H4. If you really want to support, AICH. Yes, I have to say that. JOEYAICH, the number 4. And then if you really want to support even further, I have a Bandcamp where you can buy my music, merchandise, and stuff like that. I also have a Patreon where people can subscribe to. Basically, like, I'm trying to get off the algorithm. Like, I don't want people to miss things. So if you want to be one of the insider of Joey H, like, we have different tiers. So it's like $1 tier, $5 tier, $10 tier. And basically you just get all of my things. You get behind the scenes stuff, new music, demos, all those things. And then I'm on all the streaming platforms as well. And yeah.
When I if you mentioned it before, forgive me if I missed it. When can people hear the new album?
This fall. Yeah, I'm like slowly releasing out the singles and stuff right now. How Many just came out last week. And I have another one coming out, and I'm gonna release an EP and then the album. And so it'll all be pretty quick, but it's coming.
Awesome. Joey, thanks so much for coming on a second time. This one was way better. I think it was great. It was great. And we had a drink this time, so it was a good old time. I shouldn't cheers. It's mostly empty, but hey, thanks again, man, for coming on.
Thank you.